Five, four, three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Oka Cast. I'm your host and your best friend, Alan.
And I'm your co-host, Thinh. And we have a special guest on today. We have Duong. Duong, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes.
So I heard you wanted to start up your own podcast.
Yeah, I do. And that's mostly the reason I'm here with you guys.
So what is your podcast going to be about?
So it's actually going to be me and three other pharmacists that I work with. We're going to talk a lot about different medications and how to use those medications to treat diseases. And the idea is to have kind of like a roundtable discussion, kind of like what we're doing now, and just bouncing different drugs and going over different disease states and having a group discussion about it. So it's less dry and also more interactive, so keeps it entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but overall, that's kind of what we want to talk about. Just pharmacy stuff.
What gave you the idea?
So I started listening to podcasts on my drive from home to work and all that stuff, and I found a value in it. Like nowadays, everyone is so busy with their work, their life, what they do. No one really have times as healthcare professionals to really dedicate, that time to review and keep up to date with stuff. So, I found podcasts was really helpful, and I started listening, and I'm like, you know what? Might be fun.
This.
Yeah, like I could do this.
Yes.
So
you're going to do like a lot of research and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Before each episode, we're going to compile a list or an outline of what we're going to talk about with all the literature, the evidence, the guidelines. And then once the episode starts, we'll just kind of talk about it. What actually got me to actually move forward with the idea is seeing you guys do it. Yeah, because me and my friends, we talk about it. We're like, oh, yeah, that would be a good idea. Mm-hmm. But then nobody ever did anything. I never moved forward with it.
Oh.
But seeing you guys, it's just like, oh man, they're doing it. So I'm like, I gotta do it, because if they can do it, it's like a big inspiration for me. So thanks, guys.
Of course.
We were talking about doing a podcast for a long time too.
Yeah.
We were talking about it for at least like a couple of months before we were like, you know what? We're like, we should just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, we just did it. One day we just like got all of our shit together. We just met up at my house in my basement. We brought his laptop over. We just hooked up everything. It was like, what equipment do we need? We have the bare minimum. We just set it up and we just did it.
The first day we actually ran to Micro Center to buy stuff.
Yeah. I was like, okay, we're missing this, and this. Let's just go to Micro Center right now. It's like 15 minutes away. We'll just buy everything there. And then we just did it. But I'm really happy I was able to we were able to really, help you get forward with this podcast. I'm really excited to hear it now.
Yeah. Look, I hope to have you as a guest star someday, actually.
Oh, shit.
Like we plan to pull in different providers to go in and have guest stars, and that way they can give their piece,
like a nurse perspective, or like a doctor perspective.
Yeah. Because a lot of time, you work together. Mm-hmm. Oh, and we're focusing on hospital pharmacy, so a lot of time you see all these people working together, but one side doesn't really know what the other is doing.
Right.
Like I have an idea of what you do, but I don't know the details. I don't know the intricacies of it, the challenges, what makes it fun. And then I'm sure you know what I do, but you don't know the intricacy of it,
I know just the bare minimum.
Yeah. So it'll be kind of good to kind of connect.
True. Yeah. I hear a lot of the buzzwords get thrown around in my house because my sister is a pharmacist and my mom is a buyer.
Yeah.
So they're like throwing buzzwords around like, oh, my driver, my whatever. And I'm just like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
It's very niche. I feel like
they talk about IVs a lot.
Yeah.
It really is.
But yeah, stay tuned, guys, for those who are listening.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, because I like to teach. We went to school together. I like to teach. I enjoy teaching. it's just that helping people, know their stuff. And like when I help my students, and then I see my students succeed, like I see them getting residency, I see them getting A's and B's. I'm like, oh man,
dude, that's so cute.
so I'm like,
I love it.
So I love it. It's something that I found recently that I'm really enjoying doing. So I want to keep pursuing it.
Have you ever thought about teaching in school?
I have, and actually, when I was in pharmacy residency, I did take on a class at PCP to.
Oh shit.
I was like a TA technically, but they let me lead a class once a week, and I had to like lead discussions, ask questions, stuff like that. I enjoyed it, but it was very time consuming. To prep for each one. I like to be out there, like doing the work instead of staying in the classroom.
In the field.
Yeah. So not a big fan of just 100% in class teaching, but I like to be kind of mixed, like a preceptor role where I have one or two students with me, and then I'll teach them hands-on stuff.
I think I prefer that as well. Like hands-on teaching on the field is much better than in the classroom where it's like people are just kind of give you not their full attention, but maybe like 80% of the attention. But like when it comes with the field, they're much more engaging and much more involved.
That's how education was for like hundreds of years, master, apprentice.
Yeah.
And now it's like it has to be different because there's like so many more students these days, but like that was how people learned, hands-on, one-on-one like experiences.
Yeah. And like you think about all these, higher degrees, they all require hands-on training. Engineers, pilots, doctors, pharmacists, nurses. You can only spend so much time in a class, and then after that, they want you to get the hands-on training. They want you to learn on the field. So that's high value in that. I firmly believe it. So
wow.
So would you consider, like, if you had the power, would you make like didactic in school learning shorter and then just make hands-on out like on field experience longer?
So I can speak for pharmacy.
Right.
So I wish that there's more hands-on training, like clinical rotations for pharmacy than just 1 year. Because if you look at the med schools, a lot of med school, or I would say all med schools have like 2 years of didactic.
They intern and then they do residency and then they do like attending,
It's very, very hands-on oriented. They only spend probably 2 years in class, and then they go out and then they do their clinicals. Whereas pharmacy, we spend 3 years in didactic and then only 1 year in clinical. And then that's it. You graduate, you go out, and you're expected to do all this.
Question. For those who don't know, what does didactic mean?
Like book learning.
Book learning? Oh, like classroom.
Classroom.
Okay.
But yeah, I was actually, another podcast I listened to, this guy, he's really pushing, or he really hopes that one day pharmacy will kind of be 2 years didactic and 2 years rotational, because that's kind of mimicking the med school training. So hopefully, maybe one day, but I'm all for it. I have no reason against it.
Going back to the podcast, do you have like an idea set date when it's going to start, or it's just still on the air right now?
So we have a time frame. So on January, once all the holiday stuffs are over, then we're gonna really like sit down, kind of going over, like the logistics of things, like where we're gonna do it, how many mics, who's bringing microphone, how are we moving forward, and then the topics for the first episode. We just picked a name today. Actually, we were talking and we finally picked a name for our podcast.
Oh, did you want to share it, or do you just want to hold it off until later? When you release.
Maybe I'll hold off.
Okay.
Maybe I'll hold off because I have some ideas that I want to do with it before. But stay tuned, guys.
Yes. I remember when me and Alan were trying to figure out a name, we had like a list, and we would just pick one off the list.
We honestly didn't even decide until after we had already recorded the first episode.
So how did you come up with Cast? I don't think anyone has asked this.
We don't know. Like, we wanted something that was like kind of like personal to us, that we knew, that all of our friends knew. It was very relatable, but not everyone else outside of like our friend group knows about, you know. And we always thought it was like a funny expression for like a while, for a long time.
I think it still is.
Yeah, it definitely still is.
Still relevant.
It's very relevant.
Yeah,
And,
it's always been a part of our like vocabulary, and it just felt natural. But I just found out that we didn't invent that; somebody else did.
Really?
Yeah, it came from outside our group. It was one of Hip's friends.
So like
that
that guy, he's the one who actually named it.
And it, but like he started it, but I guess like Hip indoctrinated it into his vocabulary, and you know how Hip is. He'll just like spreads that shit out like wildfire.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got contagious, and we started using it. And then you know, I thought it would be. I felt like it rolls off really nicely. Cast.
Yeah,
know?
it does. It does.
It has a nice ring to it. And
You know, and I actually remember in one of your early episodes, you were saying how your name shouldn't be too long.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
It's like a
Yes.
finite syllables, like
Yes.
like three or four. So I remember that. So
yes.
you see in my name or our name for the podcast, but it definitely took your advice.
Yes. Because I feel like if the name is too long, it's just like, you just have to abbreviate it at that point, you know?
Or even if it's long, it has to be like catchy, you know, or like a play on words or something like that. If you're gonna make it like something long.
Yeah.
Just moving away from the podcast, I kind of want to bring in, I wanted people to know a little more about you, Duong.
Yeah.
So I know recently, not just recently, but maybe within the past year, you just recently got engaged, correct?
Yeah. Correct.
Wow, dude. Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
How does it make that you feel? How is life being having fiance now?
You know, like when you asked me before, I would joke around. I was like, "Oh man, like it sucks," you know. But really,
I'm tied down now.
I don't know. She got me. Okay. but no, it's the same. It just, you know, I've always feel the same, you know, about Michelle, and taking this next step forward just kind of solidify things more objectively, I guess, because now people can say, oh yeah, they're really committed to each other, whereas before it's like, oh, you know, dating. They're still in the dating phase, but now taking that next step, they're like, okay, they're committed. So it's more of like an objective way to kind of.
Do you feel like you view her differently now, or do you feel like because she's not your girlfriend anymore? You know?
Yeah. In about 5 months, she's gonna be my wife. So.
Oh shit! Oh man, I'm
I mean,
excited.
I still feel the same way about her. I think viewing her differently is. It's a gradual change. It's not one day or one moment. A lot of cliche, you know, you see in movies. It's like, oh, that one moment where everything just changed. No, like for me, it was more of a gradual change. You know, like when we first met each other, start going out, and then gradually my view towards her changed. Like I don't have the same view about her now as I did like 5 years ago when we first met, right? Definitely, my view has changed, but it's like a gradual change.
Right. It wasn't I guess like an off switch, on and off switch or anything like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I
Wow,
mean,
man.
it rarely ever is, right?
Yeah.
I kind of expect that to happen too. Just like gradual change, or just like, oh, now we're engaged now. You know.
Yeah.
I expect it to be just like a title change in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice, you know, like knowing you're growing up. It's kind of scary at times.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I feel
it is just a title change, but words have power. You know, it like
true.
has meaning.
yeah.
Like I guess the bond's even a little more stronger too.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, funny you say that, because when we were first, like right after when we were engaged, and I was telling my friends, I was telling my parents, they're like, oh yeah, like we're engaged, so she's my fiance now. Like saying that and hearing that word roll off your tongue, it does sound a little weird. But then after a while, I'm used to it now. But at first, it's like, oh shit, like it's my fiance.
Yeah, it's like reality hitting in your face.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, I have a fiance now.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it. I get it. Yeah, it happened.
I'm excited, dude. I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
I was going to my next thing. I just had a thing I wanted to talk about, but I forgot.
So this is sometimes what happens, like, because we never plan our episodes now.
Yeah.
Like we planned the second one.
The second episode.
So we
what
plan-
happened with the first episode?
We kind of winged that too.
We
But the
winged
first episode, we recorded it and we felt like it was kind of, the feedback that we got was like, oh, it was kind of boring and like meandering. You guys didn't talk about anything. We're like, oh, okay, we'll pick a topic. The next episode, we picked a topic, but it felt so forced. And we were like, this isn't like what we want. It didn't feel very natural because this is supposed to be a conversation show, not a topic show or whatever.
Gotcha.
So then after that, every single episode after that, we were like, let's just go in, see what happens.
Off the top of our head.
Yeah. And sometimes that's for the better.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like it's much more. I can go in any direction I want. I'm not stuck in this one topic that we can only just talk about. It doesn't feel that way. So like, if I want to go a different direction, like talk about whatever I want, like I don't know, beaches or some shit. It doesn't like the most random shit. That's not anything that comes out of my mind. I can just talk about it.
But the funny thing is, like let's say we're talking about beaches. We could talk about beaches for like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Somehow it would just end up talking for like 30 minutes about beaches.
Yeah.
We're like, wow, we already have half an episode.
That's the great thing about this podcast. I just love it. You just talk about anything you want. You're not confined.
Yeah. So I did have a request from a friend at work. I told him that I was gonna get on your podcast, and I told him what your podcast was about and all that stuff. And he wanted me to bring up a topic of loot boxes in games nowadays.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know how in game now, a lot of games you play, there's this idea of having loot boxes that you have to pay to open.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's in there. You can get, something so simple and stupid, or you can get this huge deal that's like a game changer. And he was saying like he wanted to see what your thoughts on that and how it kind of evolve into like this fake gambling.
It is gambling.
Yeah, like some people get a high off of it because it's like gambling.
Yeah, because it activates your reward systems in your brain. You're like, oh, this time I'm gonna like hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the exact same thing. It's buying like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like those packs. And then you just open those packs and you just see, oh, I didn't get the card I want. Let me buy the card in another pack. It's the same exact thing. It's just the way.
That's a perfect example because trading cards, some cards are like 3 cents and some are like $25,000.
Yeah.
So the thing about loot boxes is that it's a very big gambling system because there's also items that you can get from loot boxes that, depending on the game, you can trade for like monetary value or actual item value. So people can make money off of it, but it's a gamble, like you said. But it's very it's in a system where it's very skewed to make you lose.
So are you for it or against it?
Depending on how it is, I'm against it.
I'm against it. I would rather games reward you with in-game currency and like they reward you for playing. So the more you play it, the more loot boxes you get.
Yeah.
But I don't want kids like taking their parents' credit cards and opening loot boxes with their parents' credit cards, Because then like a lot of parents don't even know that's happening until like the bill comes and you're like, Johnny, did you spend $2,000 on Fortnite?
Shit.
You're like,
Yeah.
yes.
I would say I guessed it. Just like going off of what he says, I feel like when you play a game, the amount of time you put into it, you should get achievements, and you shouldn't.
So you're all about a grind.
Yes, I'm more of a grind. But I don't like the gambling part of it. Because like if you're grinding and you still get shit, you still get shit loot boxes, then like what the fuck are you working for?
Yeah.
Whereas like if you hit current like milestones in the game, you deserve to get like good shit.
Yeah,
like stuff.
I agree. Because there are like in certain MMOs, you'll grind the same like raid hundreds of times and you'll still have a 0.2% to get whatever the loot is.
Yeah.
Like that's stupid. You should be rewarded for playing the game.
What's your opinion on it?
So I want to say I'm okay with it to a certain extent.
Okay.
Like you can only buy so much, and the items you get shouldn't be so overpowered that it makes you invincible in the game.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's a different thing.
Like,
yes. Okay.
Like I'm all for it. Like because companies need to make money too.
Right.
So I get it.
Okay, that's a different thing. That's a big mechanic.
Yeah.
So if if loot boxes affect the game itself, like the gameplay itself, then that's different. Because if you give you an OP weapon, only the people who get that OP weapon can own the fucking game. It's like it's not fun.
Yeah.
Like they have this weapon that you don't have because they got lucky off of a loot box.
Bitches.
You know? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I hate them.
It's like someone gets like a fucking rocket launcher while you have like a little pistol. Like, oh, I got this rocket launcher because I opened one loot box. And you open like 50, you still have this pistol.
Yeah.
Like that affects the gameplay.
Gotcha.
And makes things overpowered. That so I'm against that. But like I'm okay. I'm more so okay with it if it's more cosmetics where it doesn't affect gameplay. Where you can show it off, but it's not an unfair advantage.
Yeah, I agree.
That's true. So it depends on what kind of loot it is. So is it game? Like, does it affect the game? Like, is it a weapon? Is it or just a suit change? Right?
Yeah, yeah. So we're definitely against it if it makes you OP.
Yeah.
But we're okay with it if it's to change your appearance.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, like that's a trend I'm noticing with a lot of games nowadays.
I remember,
especially the mobile phones. But yeah,
EA Games released a Star Wars game. I think it might be Battlefront 2, and they made it so that the DLC, like you, basically when you bought the base version of the game, you could only play like 50% of it. Like you get the 50% of the game as a base game, but whereas you don't get the 100%. So whereas the other 50% where you needed to complete the game, you either had to buy it through DLCs or buy it through like loot boxes or some shit.
Yeah, like all the microtransactions.
Yes, microtransactions.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit. I think
they got so much flack for it.
Yeah.
Everyone like fucking like flamed that company to the ground.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Because the reason they were extra mad was because they said, oh, there's going to be no microtransactions. But then somehow there was like microtransactions for cosmetics, like little here and there. And they're like, I thought you said they weren't going to be. And then they were like, trying to like backpedal and stuff. Like, no, you guys are going down. You're getting roasted on the internet.
Yeah, I did remember that actually.
And then put it in like a Twitter post like, we want players to have a sense of pride and achievement. Like, what the fuck? Everyone started memeing that shit. A sense of pride and achievement through money. Like pay to win.
Exactly.
Yes.
Pay to win. Pay to win.
Like games that are pay to win are not good. Those aren't good models because they're not fun. You pay to have an advantage over other people. And it's like, why would I want to play a game where if you have more money, you win?
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, no problem.
So what does your friend think about loot boxes?
Pretty much the same as you guys. He was more annoyed by the trend that's going.
It makes money, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, the company makes money.
Yeah,
so,
I think like Fortnite, I don't know if there's loot boxes in Fortnite. No, actually, there's no loot boxes in Fortnite. But like a lot of like I think Counter-Strike. I think they have cases where you pay.
There are websites like built for like gambling on Counter-Strike loot boxes. Yeah,
and I think Overwatch also has loot boxes too.
That's not what the game is about.
It's not.
Yeah, people are just paying to win. So I think that's why he got really frustrated about it. And he was just venting it to me, and then he's like, "You know what? You go on that show, and you spread the word."
Exactly. I mean, we're a pretty small show, so I don't know, but like it's it's nice to talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, loot boxes fucking suck.
Yeah, they suck.
It just, ugh. That's a good question. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, I mean he tasked me with that one question, and I said I'll do it, and I did.
Good job.
Check.
Peaceful. Good job. So, are you working at Lincoln and Penn right now still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Kind of crazy, but
Really?
so you work at both hospitals.
yeah. So I'm full time at Lincoln, and I work once a month at Penn. But then if they're short, they usually see if anyone want to come in and help cover. If I'm available, I'll do it. I do have a wedding coming up that I need to pay for.
That's true.
Speaking
Overtime.
of which, how like are you comfortable talking about like prices and stuff?
Prices of
Like
what?
like all your wedding stuff?
Yeah, I don't have an issue with
Okay.
Why,
How
what's
much
up?
how much was the venue?
So we went with the Asian venue
Okay.
down in South Philly. You guys will know Asian Palace.
Okay.
So they do Asian places they do by table, whereas American places they do
Per
it
head.
by head count.
Yeah.
So for us, they gave us a price about $900 per table. So when we're estimating about maybe 200 people, so we're probably gonna need about 20, maybe a little bit more tables in terms of tables.
That's way cheaper than like American venue.
Oh, for sure, dude. Like we actually went to a couple American places, and the price is like in the Philly area, it's like 100 plus, 150 plus per person.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, dude. Like I was telling you before, like weddings, American style weddings, is so overpriced.
is.
Everything's so inflated.
This shit. Oh.
Yeah, you pay so if you pay $150, let's say minimum, right? $150.
You have 200 people.
You get 200 people. Each person get a 3-course meal. You know, appetizer, entree, and then dessert, maybe.
Asian place, you get 12 course.
Yeah,
Family style.
yeah. And there's always leftover food.
What's your like overall estimate? How much are you gonna pay for the whole thing?
So right now, I think we're looking at probably 30 plus grand.
That's
That's pretty good though,
yeah.
right?
for a regular wedding. But I mean, it's still a huge chunk of change.
Like, what's
Yeah,
a
for
what's
sure.
a standard like average? Would you say?
Like double that.
Yeah, maybe. It really
Yeah,
depends
that's
on what
good.
you do.
Yeah.
And like where, like what kind of venue?
Yeah.
Like how much is your wedding like dress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All the little stuff adds up.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Dude, you're like when you go into wedding shopping mode and you look at the prices for things, you're so desensitized by how expensive shits are. Like things will be in the hundreds, the thousands, the hundreds, the thousands, right?
Shit.
Yeah. And so then they just keep coming. You're like, oh, that's actually not bad. That's actually not bad. But then you sit back and you think about it like shit, I just paid like $4,000 for someone to take pictures for one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny how you bring that up because my nephew, who just recently got married in October, while we were getting ready at his house, he was just telling me, like, dude, ever since I was planning for this wedding, I've come to realize how lucrative the wedding business is.
Yeah.
And he was like thinking he was thinking about me too. He was like, Thinh, I know you love to take pictures. I was thinking that you could probably get into this wedding photography game. I paid this one photographer $3,000 for the whole day,
Yeah.
just for one day.
Yep.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
3,000? Holy shit!
Yeah.
And like everything is so pricey just for a wedding.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's all around this idea of, it's your one
Moment.
day. Yeah. You know?
Special day.
Yeah, once in a lifetime. That's what gets a lot of people, you know? Oh, like, this is once in a lifetime. I'm going to go all out. Money is not an issue, et cetera, et cetera. So it's all around that idea.
I'm about to have this shit in my backyard, yo. What the fuck? Fuck venues. I'm gonna set up tables in my backyard. People could just wear whatever they like.
Shotgun wedding.
Exactly. I'll just put like a little arch in the back, and then we'll have people lined. You know, the bridal party and groomsmen all lined up and shit.
Yeah.
Use the house.
I feel like on the one hand, like I don't think it should be that extravagant, but on the other hand, I've been to some like really shitty weddings, so I'm like, just gotta be like a good middle, you know?
Yeah.
Because I remember Sean and Lisa went to a wedding where it was like paper plates and like deli meats and stuff.
Oh damn.
I was
Deli
like,
meat?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, that's a bummer. Sean and Lisa were like, oh boy.
A lot of people are also doing destination wedding now. That's like a cheaper alternative. Yeah.
That's true.
So that is also
way-
an option.
Yeah.
Everyone pays for their own ticket.
Yep.
Exactly. And then you don't have to worry about like paying per head or
Yep.
anything or table.
It's like one package, one stop shop.
That's
you
true.
know. So, alternative.
Good to know. I'm taking notes. Mental notes right now.
I mean, like, all right. So, look, we're not trashing on weddings, okay? it's important to know what you want with you and your partner. Like me and Michelle, we kind of talk about what we want, and kind of being realistic with what you want versus,
What's important to you?
What's important to you? Yeah, like is this extravagant ballroom what you really value most, or is it the people that you have? You want to make sure you have that. Make those people happy. Have a good time with your friends, your family. You know what I mean? So this is a discussion to talk with your significant other when the time comes.
So a lot of people say that the wedding is mostly for the family. It's not really for the bride and groom. But what do you feel about that?
I feel that it's very true if you are Asians.
Yes, yes.
Very, very true. Like, your parents see this as like an opportunity to like invite their friends, like get everyone they know, and to kind of host it for them. Like, hey, like come check out my kids are getting married, that kind of deal. And then when the family come, you better make sure they're happy. So it's a lot of it. It's like I've seen weddings where like family member would comes and like they don't get the front row seats, for example, or they get put in a corner and they get served food later, and then people get upset.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like that happens.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So it's something to think about, when we plan the wedding. But yeah, like I totally agree where that saying is, wedding is more for your family and for other people. It's not so much about you, especially if you're Asian.
When my nephew was planning his wedding, at the day before the wedding itself, it was very stressful because his family, they were going a very traditional route, a very Vietnamese traditional culture route where they had to be, the groom had to be at the bride's house by a certain time. And like presenting with all like the offering, the gifts to the bride's family, and then the bride's family like gives away the bride to the groom. But the day before, it was so stressful. Like my nephew's family or my cousins were like, "You gotta do this and that and that and that." And he was like, "Dude, why? Like, why is this important? Like, this is nuts." You guys are demanding so much, and they're yelling at him because like this should be done like 3 weeks ago. It's like, why didn't you tell me 3 weeks ago then?
Yeah.
Like, this is what you guys wanted. Why are you guys telling me now that you're yelling at me about it? It should be done three weeks ago. It's crazy. It's like both sides. The bride and groom family was very strict on what they wanted.
Yeah.
And like, it basically, he was telling me it's more about, the wedding's more for them than it's for what he and the bride wanted.
It's like putting on a show for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like telling him I don't want to have it like a traditional Vietnamese wedding.
Yeah.
I would rather have like like American style wedding at like an Asian venue.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's the both worlds.
Yes.
Yes. So hopefully our wedding is gonna be kind of like that.
Yes.
You guys doing like a whole ceremony and everything? Like,
So we're gonna have two parts. So on Friday, not Friday. Yeah, no, Friday. Friday morning we'll do all the traditional part, like the tea ceremony, where your groom go to the bride, pick up the bride, and then bring them back, things like that. So Friday morning, but then Saturday was kind of the more American take on it, where we're gonna get married in the church. And then after the church, there'll be the receptions, so it's not all these ceremonial stuff. Like all that should be taken care of the day before. Mm-hmm. For example, going back to what we talked about, what matters to you on that day, right? So Michelle and I talked, and we said, like for me, I really want, the moment I see her in her wedding gown will be walking down the aisle, in the church. If we were to do the traditional route, that was never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment I see her is probably 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. when I come to her house and pick her up.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that would defeat the whole purpose. So I would have never gotten that. Mm-hmm. So like we talk about it, and we say, you know what, let's just do all that stuff the day before. She'll be in her traditional Chinese dress, and we'll do all that stuff. So then when the actual wedding day comes on Saturday, the first time I see her will be down the aisle, in the church. So, like we talk about, it's just knowing what matters to you, and, make sure it happens. Because
how much say did either of your parents have, like, in the process? Like, can you at least put this in there for us or put this in there for us?
Thinking back now, I mean, we're still working with our parents on this, but they're not one of the really strict ones, where kind of like what your nephew went through, with like, oh, the A must be A, B must be B, you know, kind of deal. There can never be A, B. You know what I mean? Like my parents are flexible. Like they would tell me they want certain things, and same with Michelle's parents. I would say, oh, like there's certain things that they want, and we'll try to meet that. But we also explain to them, you know, you gotta draw the line somewhere.
Of course,
you know, and they're flexible. Like they understand and they appreciate that it's about us too. You know, I think we're lucked out on that. We don't have very strict parents, so we'll see. Well, ask me again in like 6 months. Once all this is over, I'm sure I will have more to talk about.
The closer we get to the date, you see how your parents are reacting. Like, oh, actually, I wanted this now.
So what are your plans for your bachelor party?
We're actually planning a trip to Vegas in February.
Nice.
With a bunch of guys. Yeah, that's all I can say for now.
I feel like Vegas is such a lot of people do their bachelor party in Vegas.
Yeah.
Do you feel like?
I mean, you see it in every movie. Every movie with a bachelor that has a bachelor party in it.
Do you feel like that influenced you? Like watching movies and stuff, you're like, oh, bachelor party has to be in Vegas. Or did you think about it and you were like, this is what I want to do, like gamble and drink and stuff?
Well, you've been there before too, right?
Yeah.
So you have an idea what it's like already.
Yeah.
I have never been there, so I don't know what to expect, but I'm really excited though.
Yeah. So honestly, it was kind of a discussion between me and the groomsmen, where I was kind of like, all right, where should we do this? So I gave a couple options that I would want to. So one option was New Orleans, AC, which very quickly got dismissed.
Yes.
And then Vegas, like those are the places. It's not so much the idea of like, oh, like every bachelor's party must be in Vegas. It's more like what Vegas has to offer.
True. There's a lot to do there.
Yeah. And the thing with Vegas is, like there's a lot to do. Not just gambling, not just drinking. There's all the different shows
and stuff. Yeah.
All the different food. You know, like I'm all about the food. If you know me, you know I'm all about the food.
Yes.
Like, I love eating.
Food's got to be a highlight.
Yes. like all the food, and then the Grand Canyon is just an hour away.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
I've never been there either.
Dude, like Rico said he's actually gonna try. Spoiler alert for those who are listening.
How do you know these plans already?
No, but he mentioned it to me.
Okay.
He mentioned it. He's thinking about just renting a car and driving us all out to Grand Canyon, like do our own little driving tour instead of doing a bus tour.
Right.
Yeah. So like things like that. The Hoover Dam is there, but I want to see the Grand Canyon more. So like that.
I really want to hike the Grand Canyon. That's always been on one of my my lists.
Yeah.
I just hike on the Grand Canyon. I think that's been more of a recent thing because we've only recently got into camping, like maybe 2 years ago. And we only recently really got into hiking because of camping. So it's like I've been thinking about all these places I want to go hiking, like Grand Canyon. I want to go like up to like Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
Like go Appalachian Trail, because we've been on the Appalachian Trail, but it was like
a part of it.
Yeah, only a small part of it.
But it was a really nice, like very scenic hike on the Appalachian Trail. And like I didn't know what to expect, I guess. I didn't even know we were on the Appalachian Trail for a while until like it clicked in my head like, oh, this is the AT. Wait, what does that mean? Appalachian Trail. Oh shit.
Yeah.
And like the whole time we were walking, I was like, wow, this is a nice scenic view. When you hike, you take in the scenery, the environment.
It goes from Georgia all the way up to Maine.
Yeah.
For a long time, I never thought I was an outdoors person. I was like, I don't know if I'd be cool with camping. And then the first time that you go, it like changed my mind forever. I was like, wow, this is an amazing experience.
Uh-huh.
I had a lot of fears the first time we went camping. That was my first time we went on the Appalachian Trail. I thought we were going, and when we got there, it was midnight. So it was like already pitch black. There was no street lights or no lights or anything. The only lights we had were on our phones.
It's like no signs of life.
Exactly. The biggest thing, what really scared me is that on the way to that campsite is that there was a lot of signs that there were bears around.
Oh,
I was like, fuck, dude. Why did I agree to go camping, dude? With all these signs of bears around.
Bear country.
Exactly.
It was hilarious because later that night we were like sitting by the fire and we hear like a sound. Tin's like, a bear, dude. That's a. I was like, it could be like a deer or something. He's like, no, deer's feet are not that heavy. And then I was like, nah, I don't know, man. But the more he was talking about it, he was like, dude, believe me. And I actually started to believe him. I was like, oh shit, you're right, Tid. I was like, we're freaking out.
It was like approaching closer to us too. It was like, I'm like, yo, Alan, please. We gotta fucking get to the car right now. And it was funny because it was only me and Alan awake by the campfire, and Ashley was asleep in the tent. We're like, fuck, peace out, Ashley. We gotta go to the car.
We actually ran.
Yeah,
to the car.
We went to the car. It was locked. So I was like, fuck. Ashley has the keys. So I ran back to the tent. I opened the zipper. I was like, Ashley, where are the keys? She's like, why? I was like, I think there's a bear out there. Can I have the keys? She was like, what? And she like, I just grabbed the keys. I was like, all right, Ashley, you stay here. Be quiet. Don't do anything. I zipped it up. I went back to the car.
So did you ever confirm what that was?
No.
It was probably just like a person.
Yeah.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. I
A
yelled
rando
at
in the woods.
I was like,
we
get
never,
out of here.
yeah, we never confirmed, but we were so freaked out.
Our fear was real.
Yeah.
The fear was
Yeah.
real.
Even if the bear was not.
See, I've never been camping, so I'm pretty scared of like the wild, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like
It's a natural feeling to have. I had I was scared too. I didn't know what to expect.
yeah.
The only thing that I am like still really afraid of are ticks. Because you can catch like Lyme disease and all this kind of stuff.
That's pretty much.
And you won't even tell. You can't. It's so hard to tell if there's a tick on you until it's too late.
Yeah, that's why like even in the like when we go in the warm weather, I wear like super long socks and like long pants.
You want to make sure you're covered up. Just a safety precaution.
Yeah. I mean, Lyme disease is treatable, curable.
Yeah.
Is it curable?
Yeah.
I thought it was just like.
I thought you had like 2 weeks.
It's a long disease to treat, but it's
okay.
you'll live.
What can you go into? I'm not too familiar what Lyme disease does, to be honest.
The main sign that you notice is like this called a bulle, like
Like a
the
sac?
target. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, most of it it's not so much autoimmune; it's auto nervous.
Oh, okay.
It attacks the auto nervous system.
Well, that's fucked up too.
I mean, that's if left untreated. Like I said, it's treatable.
That's very scary. Oh my god.
But yeah, dude, I am terrified of the wild. Like all the shit that can happen to you when you're in the wild.
Yeah.
It's just all that.
The reason why I fell in love with camping though is because it's like it really makes you think outside of what you normally do. Like, oh, I need to make food. How do I make food out here? Like, how do I cook? So you have to learn how to start a fire. Like, you don't normally start a fire on a daily basis. You just turn on a fucking knob on the stove and call it, you just have a fire. But now you have to get wood, kindling, maybe like use some flint and stone if you want to go that deep. But you also use like a lighter or some shit. And then you just build a fire, get your utensils, and then you have to work with what you have.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It's like surviving with what you have there. And
So, did you guys start a fire on your own? Mm-hmm. How long did that take?
the last trip that me, Brandon, Tiffany, and Austin went on, it probably took us like 10 minutes. We had to grab a lot of flammable things and like compile it into one little ball. And we had like a flint and stone kind of thing. We kept using the sparks, and it would actually like light
Really?
up. Yeah, it was a really cool experience. It's like you gotta like. It's an
You
experience.
see it in the movies.
Yeah.
You definitely see in the movie how easy it looks.
Yeah.
And I'm always skeptical about that. I'm like, is it that easy in real life?
I'm really skeptical of the rubbing two sticks together.
Yeah, that one I'm very skeptical of.
Yeah.
But if you ever go on YouTube, there's this guy called like Primitive Technologies. He's actually done it. Like there's
Really?
a way. Yeah, he like tied 2 strings on the top of a stick.
Oh yeah, I've seen Bear Grylls do that.
Yeah, and then it like coils when he like when he doesn't put tension on it. It coils, and he just kind of like a spin top. he just keeps doing this, and then it will cause a lot of friction on the wood below it, and it will actually like smoke up and cause a little fire.
The thing I like about camping is like getting away from daily life. You know, it's the fact of like just taking some time to be like, you don't have to think about your real life for a little bit. You know,
Gets you away from your everyday like anxiety life.
yeah, like all the daily grind. You can just take a step back and check out nature for like 2 days.
The air's a little more fresher too. It's like crazy. It's not. It doesn't. It smells like nature. You know.
It's probably we're so used to smelling dirt and
Like
pollution.
smog.
Yeah. We're like, oh, what's this fresh air that we're smelling?
If we ever go on an next trip, I recommend you to come along. It's a good time. Like I mean, I'm still here. I'm still living.
That'll be a big step for me. So I'll think about it. But thanks for the invite.
Yeah, of course.
But I definitely appreciate the nature part because, like the first time that I actually felt like that was when we went to Iceland. Like me and Michelle went to Iceland, and like if you haven't been to Iceland, I definitely recommend it. Like go in your lifetime before it all sink or whatever global warming would do to it. But it's like this raw nature, like untouched by humans, and they kept it like that. Like the population on Iceland is probably very, very small. I think I want to say 3 million. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, like
the population of Philly is like 3 million. So
yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah,
dude, like
that's
it's-
how small that country is.
It's very small. And like when you go to the different waterfalls and the different roads, it's just and they left it untouched. But you know, they don't put safety ropes and you know, all the different trails or like the stairs. They left it as is so you can appreciate nature, and you know, you really see all the nature around you. That was probably the first time I felt like shit. We are very, very insignificant in this world. Like, for sure.
So that's why it makes your problem seem small too.
Yeah.
You're like all these things that you're worried about. You're like, wow, it doesn't even matter in the grand scheme of things. So you just appreciate life.
Yeah.
It allows you to take a step back and just appreciate what you have around you at least, and like just looking around, it's beautiful. Nature's fucking beautiful, dude.
Yeah, I feel like I really started to learn that, like since we started going camping and hiking more. Because before I would just be like, always wanted to stay inside, you know. Even as a kid, I was like, I don't want to play outside. That's like hot and stuff. Now I'm like, man, when's the next like hiking trip? When can we go camping again? Even in the winter, I was like, hey, you guys down? Everyone was like, no.
I'm actually down now.
It's
For
coming
like a
up
hike
on
or anything.
I mean,
Okay.
where would you camp in the winter? Like,
Well,
is there a place?
Well, we would actually go into a cabin for a winter. Get a cabin, so that it's a little more shelter. You can use like space heaters and shit. You can have
No
like
bears.
no bears. Exactly. You can have a fireplace, so it's a little more cozy. But yeah, I think during the wintertime you get a cabin and you hike around the surrounding areas.
I mean,
that sounds nice.
good sleeping bags rated for like low temperatures, like 20 degrees, negative whatever degrees.
Really?
Yeah, but they're really expensive.
You can go camping like in the tent in the wintertime too. It's just I've read that it's a lot harder to stay warm, obviously.
Obviously.
But you have to make the necessary. It takes a little more maintenance to keep that warmth in your tent, because people have like butane heaters where
That sounds extremely dangerous.
It does. It really does.
Just light the whole thing on fire.
My family had to use it for my house because there was a blizzard like I don't know 2 or 3 years ago that like knocked out my electricity in my neighborhood for like about 2 weeks. So we had to depend on like using butane heaters in my house. It was crazy. I didn't know it existed until my parents brought it out. I was like, what the fuck is this? They like lit it up. It was like a little fire like heating.
So it's gas, right?
Yes,
it's a gas heater.
Try glamping. Have you ever tried glamping before?
Nope.
Like glamorous camping.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, I was like glamping, but all right.
It's kind of like maybe like an RV, or you can rent out like a small cabin in the woods where it's like very secluded.
but it's like really nice and like
you still have like a roof over your head. You have
Yeah.
walls, and like it's just a little cozy. There's like no Wi-Fi, so it takes you away from like society, from the internet, and makes you focus more on people who are around you. I know you just got a house, dude.
Oh shit, yeah.
How long ago was this?
We close on, I think, end of August, mid to end of August.
Holy shit, dude! You're a homeowner now.
I'm a homeowner now.
How does it feel to have your own place? I mean, you always had your own place, but like your own home.
You're all the way out in Collegeville?
Collegeville, yeah. We want to get out of the city.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't see ourselves living in the city forever.
Same.
And it's a good start. It's a good start. See, if you ask me that question, let's say a month ago or even 2 months ago, I would tell you, oh man, it sucks. It's miserable.
Really? Oh man.
Well, because we bought this house and we wanted to do a lot with like remodeling and all that stuff. So basically for the first 2 months, maybe 3. Yeah, no, 2.5. Dude, it's like all constant remodeling, constructions. Like there'll be people coming in doing work. And then when they're not there, like I'm doing the work, you know, like so painting, flooring, bathroom, like all this stuff that you do. It just like I would go to work early morning, come home from work, eat something real quick, and then work on a house until bedtime. You know, like that's
a jam-packed day already.
Yeah, and imagine.
Has it been worth it though? In the end,
like now, if you ask me, I think it's worth it because now, like the house is mostly done. I can just go home and kind of lay back.
Yeah.
Okay, when's the next hangout?
Yeah. When's the housewarming party?
Poker night.
I'm waiting for you guys for availabilities.
Probably, dude. You just gotta throw the invite out.
Yeah.
Everyone will make time. Trust me. You just gotta throw it out there.
It's tough during the holiday because people are going home. You know,
true.
people are doing a lot of their own things. So
Time for poker night again.
Yeah.
January. Yeah.
Oh my god.
January. Keep that date.
Collegeville.
Or keep that
Where
month.
is Collegeville? I'm trying to like.
It's north of King of Prussia. Like 10,
okay. That's
10
not bad.
15 minutes north of King of Prussia.
Close to him.
Yeah,
Closer.
from me.
Yeah.
So I can probably get to you in like 20, 30 minutes maybe.
30 minutes,
30
yeah.
minutes?
Because
Okay.
last time when I went to your house, it took me about 30 minutes. And there was a little traffic. And all
Okay,
that stuff.
gotcha.
So without traffic, 20, I can see it. But probably 30, realistically.
Dude, we've been filming at Thin's almost like every time, and driving out there takes about like 40 minutes for me. It was weighing on me. I was like, what?
Yo, that's my drive to work every day now.
Oh no, that's true.
Yeah.
You gotta go through King of Prussia, all the Brumont area. Do you take the highway to get to Lincoln or Penn?
So I take a little bit of 76, get on Gulf Road, and then just go straight into Lancaster Ave. And then it takes me to Lincoln. But to Penn, and I mean, I'm only at Penn during the weekend, so there's not as much traffic. So I just take 76 all the way in the city. Don't be surprised. A lot of people have that's like a normal commute for a lot of people.
That's rough.
Yeah.
'Cause a lot of people are exiting, like they're kind of leaving the city and moving out to the suburbs. And then a lot of older people are actually moving into the city because it's a lot cheaper, or like there's like more lower income housing is what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, this is only our first house. So, you know, maybe later we'll move somewhere
Is
a
it
little
nice?
closer.
Like, can we see pictures later?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I don't have the picture of the finished house.
Okay. We'll wait then.
Yeah. You guys can wait, and then I'll show you the pictures before,
And after.
and then I'll show you the house, and then you see the changes.
Nice.
I have a question. More of the logistics of buying a house. Did you have to put like 20% down and you got a loan for the rest, or did you pay all in full?
So, first of all, we did not pay it in full.
Yeah,
I have
Jesus.
not that
Yeah,
kind of
that's
cash
what I was
flying
thinking,
around. I did
I was
not
thinking,
win a lottery.
This is why I'm asking, because I want to know. Like I need like this, so I have an idea what to expect.
So ideally, people say ideally you would want to put 20% down, because if you don't put 20% down, you can still get a mortgage, but you're gonna have to pay what's called a private mortgage insurance. That's just the kind of insurance for the lender, just in case you don't, like, for some reason you can't make any more payments, stuff like that. So it's kind of on for them.
Okay.
But you absolutely don't need the 20% down. We didn't put 20% down. It depends on what kind of mortgage you get. There's a minimum percentage you need. Most of the like 7-8%. But yeah, it depends on the mortgage you need. So you have a minimum that you need to put down. And then that plus closing costs is something else too. Closing costs includes all the paperwork, all the taxes for the house, and all the taxes that you need to pay for the upcoming months until you have to pay again. All the insurance that are due up front, all the fees like the house inspection fees, all those fees, it get lumps into a big number called a closing cost.
Okay.
And they said expect your closing costs to be about 3% of the house price. So some calculations to keep in mind when you're shopping or looking for houses.
Okay.
But yeah, our agent, he really worked with us and he really explained to me what all the numbers mean. So if you have a good agent, they'll do the same.
Okay.
I mean, this is all really good information, especially because Thinh is like saving for a house.
I'm at that point in my life where I'm saving up for shit now for the next chapter of my life. So it's like all this information is really helpful. So thank you,
dude. We can definitely talk offline about this later.
True.
Like,
I
have a lot of questions for you too, buddy.
Maybe we have you on for another episode so you can talk more.
Do you want to wrap it up, Thinh?
Yeah, sure. So as you all may know or may not know, we do this segment at the end where we go around the table and ask each and every one of us, what's up with you? Like, what's up with you lately? You can talk about whatever you want. Like, what's going on in your current life, what you're interested in.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Whomever.
Yeah, you can go first.
You go.
All right. What's going on with me? So I've been tackling a lot of more projects at work lately. So now I'm kind of diving into building a pharmacy residence program at Lankino. So taking on the role of program director. So it's gonna be a lot of work in the upcoming months. A lot of paperwork, a lot of typing, a lot of meetings, but I'm really excited because that's like a big portion of what I want to do later on. Kind of like my passion about teaching. So, but yeah, I'm real excited for that. I'm actually really excited.
You are making really big strides. I love it. You're like moving forward with your career. Like you're not also just staying like stagnant, just going to work but you're also what I admire right now from hearing you right now. You're just making the steps to better like the pharmacy community or just the profession itself and advancing it.
I mean, that's why I hope a lot of people will do stay engaged. That's my advice to basically all the students that I've had when they ask me. I was like, stay engaged. Whatever you do, just stay engaged. Have a passion, have a drive. Because if you don't have a drive, you're not doing something right. Whatever you do, stay engaged. Don't settle.
Wise words. Well, continuing off of what I had last talked about with what's up with you, I'm finally off orientation. I'm on my own as a nurse, new grad nurse. Now, I'm technically called a clinical nurse now since I'm off orientation.
Yeah.
I'm on my own. So far, my experience has been really great. It hasn't been really stressful at all. I've been able to take care of my patients without anyone looking over my shoulder, everything I do. And I guess leading up to that point, I had a lot of anxiety because I thought I wasn't able to do it. I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself, but after being on my own for the past 4 shifts now, it's been a breeze.
We just talked about you in a recent episode. Thinh was talking about how there was a point in time in his relationship where he felt like he thought he was going to break up with Tiffany, and you were the one who stopped him.
Yeah, I remember that conversation in the game room.
Yes.
Right? Yep. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yep. I was just telling him that you were the only person I told that to about. So, thank you.
Yeah. Dude, no problem. No problem.
And like, look how far we've come since then, you know what I mean?
Shit.
Like, he's thinking about like the next chapter of his life with her, and like you're thinking about like starting a residency program in Lankino. Like that's a huge like And then if you think back on where you guys were at that time, it's like, wow, you guys sucked back then.
We did. No, I know I did. Like one of my regrets, you can say, of is not getting, letting myself be more open earlier. Like I don't know if you remember, but way back then I was kind of really close up, to myself.
Yeah.
I don't really go and like open myself up to bigger groups and stuff like that. Like I would shy away from meeting new people and stuff like that. So, I see how it affected my life then and like my views on things.
Why do you think you were doing that?
I don't know. I really don't have a good answer, but I feel like I blame it, not blame, but I kind of see it as me going from, a small town growing up into this big city, and then, seeing the different, the different, I guess, the bad things about the city, and I just don't want that to happen to me. So I just kind of put a wall up and kind of protect myself and kind of being very possessive of certain things. And so I think that affected me negatively. And like, it takes some time. And then, a couple things happen. And then I had to like take a step back and kind of reevaluate how I interact with people, my friends, the people that care about me. And like, you got to trip, before you can learn to walk. And I think that's what happened. I took a couple trips, and then I kind of learned, who's important in my life, and then just kind of, move forward and live and learn.
Exactly. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
You've come a long way too. I
think we all have.
Yeah.
Do you remember us just starting in the game room?
I remember at the time you were going through a rough patch, and I felt bad because I wanted to be there for you, but I wasn't. And like, I remember, like, just like what you were saying, you were very closed off, and I wanted to be someone who you could rely on, someone you could talk to, and for that to happen, so at that point, I opened myself up to you so that you could feel like, wow, like you know, that you could feel like comfortable talking to me, so that if I'm opening up my heart to you, maybe it could show you that you can open your heart to me. Yeah,
and I felt it. Like I was, I felt closer to you guys. I really felt that, what I've been missing out on all this time. But yeah, like that's probably one regret that I have is just how close off I was before. Like I could have got to know you better, but I didn't.
Because I feel like I've known you for a long time, but I don't know you at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've known you for many years, but I don't know. I just don't hang out that much.
Yeah. I mean, pharmacy school didn't help with all the stuff. Like those of you who are in school right now, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Like, cause we're all in school. It's like a lot of your time studying. So at the time, and then it's totally understandable. Like I don't blame you for any of that at all. Like it's just I wish we hung out more. I don't know, just be more friends, more like just see each other more often. But I know that we have our things in our life that are very time consuming, and I totally understand. I don't blame anyone for any of that. That's all. It's just nice to see people's faces.
Yeah, it is nice
more often.
This is pretty much like our excuse to like talk to people we haven't talked to in a long time. Yes. Just get them on the podcast.
Bring people along,
like, oh, hey. It works.
I'm always happy to come back if you need a guest.
Dude, you've been really great so far on this podcast. You've been, I'm telling you right now, you shooting for the stars right now. Shooting for the stars.
Thanks, man.
You had a lot of,
Thanks, bro.
You had a lot to say. You weren't very scared. You were very comfortable. I could tell. You were very good.
Thanks, bro.
Mm-hmm. So what's up with you, Alan? What the fuck?
So I've always liked to draw, but I'm not that good at it, but recently I've been trying to get back into it, just trying to draw more and just like bring out the old sketchbooks and try to like get back into it, I feel like it's a good, like, it's another outlet for me, another like creative outlet. It's like, it's just something I can do while I maybe watch TV or like watch Netflix or something. It's just something I can like keep my hands busy. So that's what I've been up to.
Have you seen an improvement in your drawings?
Like I haven't drawn in a really long time, but I would say since I started and to this day, I would say yeah, I'm much better. But I haven't really drawn in a long time, so. Not
Do you
much
like drawing on the digital iPad, like digital drawing better, or the more traditional pencil and paper?
Right now, most of my experience has been traditional pen and paper, and like, but I do have like a tablet, so I've been trying to use that more. It's just like everyone recommends like the iPad Pro and like the pen with that, but it's like so expensive.
Anything Apple,
Yeah.
overpriced.
But that's what everyone raves
expensive.
about. They say that's like the best, and it like feels the best, and it like it's the most like intuitive. You know.
I think I've tried it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I think it's even better
I think-
than the Surface Pro.
Is it better than the Surface Pro?
I do have the Surface Pro, and Surface Pro is pretty fucking good too.
Okay.
I'll let you try it once in a while. But,
I have tried it on yours, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think you did. I can't remember now. Yeah.
Dang, I gotta get a Surface Pro.
I just know because like I read comics, and then like the newer comics now, they're
All digital,
it's
right?
all
Everything's digital.
Dude, like shit is just crystal clear.
Right. Wow.
It's incredible. Like if you read it on like an iPad or something that has like, you know, HDR 4K capability, like dude, like Superman's never looked that good. All right.
That's true.
So
Well, thank you for coming on today. It was great to have you on the
dude,
show.
I'm happy to be here.
It's good. It was great. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks for everybody for listening. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks for the wrap. Peace.
Bye.